Now moving on to social media, and I appreciate we are moving really quick here. So as Susie said, if you've got questions, do put them in the box. So look, I'm guessing that most of you are probably doing some form of social media or other, which is great. So I suppose this page is really more about thinking, being clear in your mind about what you want to achieve with your social media, not just doing it for the sake of doing it. Like everyone's too busy just to be on social without actually having a bit of a plan. And that's really linked to the plan that we covered on that first slide. So have that basic marketing plan, and this can extend out to your social activity. So what I mean by this is to think about your business goals. Do we want to grow? Do we want to grow more clients, more revenue? Do we want to build awareness? And then you can think about how this relates to social. So for example, if you're building awareness, then getting more fans and followers makes sense. If you want to drive more traffic to your website, then maybe you want to think about posting content that links back to your website so they can go back onto your website to read the full article. Also have a think about the target audience that you're trying to attract, because that can actually influence the social platform or platforms that you might want to concentrate on. So for example, if you choose LinkedIn, is that because you're going to do a lot of targeted networking and that's where you might want to spend your time? Or are you going to focus on Facebook because there's lots of retail businesses on there? Or maybe it's Instagram because your ideal clients are skewed to sort of younger business owners and maybe tradies. So there are definitely different social channels that people maybe spend more time on. If you're not sure, go and have a look at some of your current clients or ideal clients and see if you can find out where they're spending their time on. Because guarantee that if you see that they're really active on say Instagram, but they're not doing anything on LinkedIn, then you'd be wasting your time if you're on LinkedIn, and obviously vice versa. Now, just to sort of finish up on this slide, it's great to sort of have your social profiles up, but it's always a good idea maybe once a month to just do a quick audit. So think about your imagery, your cover photo, the information. Is everything up to date? Does it all look professional? Because you never know who's going to be going on there to look at you, especially if you've just been out to an event or a meeting. And also think about the fact that your cover photo, especially on your business profiles, you can use that almost as a little advertising space. So if you've got an event coming up, you could actually put information on a graphic about that event in there, or if you've got an award, you could sort of highlight in the main cover photo. Cool. So social media, I think the basic thing I want to cover here is that it's not just one person's job. There might be one person in your firm who does most or all of the marketing, but social media, it works best if everyone in the firm can get behind it. And this might be as simple as if the social person does a post, then you encourage everyone in your team to share and repost it, because that way you'll get more engagement, you'll get people commenting and sharing, and that team is going to really amplify your efforts. If the team, is kind of even has a bit more time or feels more comfortable, you could even ask them to commit to posting something on a semi-regular basis. And this just might be once a week or maybe a few times a month. And a nice thing to do here is that you could even talk about in a weekly team meeting, hey, this week or this month, we're really going to focus on this particular topic. And that's an easy way for them to say, okay, I know what the topic is. Maybe even you could, the person looking after social could prepare a bit of an outline about what you might want to cover, and then that's just a very simple way for them to take that information, make it their own, and then post it out there. I suppose a bit of advice when it comes to social is that obviously it's a bit of it's a public forum, so obviously engage and be comfortable engaging with people who engage with you. Always be upfront and courteous, because it's a really great opportunity for you to display what it would be like to work with you, your integrity, and people do take notice as to how people act on social media, both in a positive way and obviously in a negative way. So if you've ever had someone who's had a bit of a gripe on social media, I'd almost look at it as an opportunity to try and solve it. You may or may not be able to solve it completely, but at least you'll be displaying to everyone that you are really willing to engage and try and help people and solve their problems. One last thing to mention here is hashtags. So I'm sure you've all seen hashtags used. Could be hashtag accounting, hashtag zero are two pretty common ones, or hashtag SME. Basically, they just make your social post searchable. So if someone searches for a topic in social media, if your social post has that hashtag, then your social post will be ranked, kind of like on a search on search for Google. So definitely think about your business hashtag name, and then maybe there are some other hashtags that you would use commonly. So that might be niches that you specialize in. It might be certain keywords or sort of branding keywords that you use. And once you use them, I would commit to them, so that actually if someone searches for a particular term, they're going to see not just one or two text posts from you, but a whole raft. I think in terms of what to share on social, look, this is a real problem for a lot of people. People feel a bit self-conscious about getting out there, especially if it's something they haven't done before. Maybe a good place to start is to look at what other people or other firms in your industry are doing. That could just be even saying, what sorts of stuff do they post, or how long do they post, what sorts of hashtags are they using. But really, once you're comfortable with it, the sky's the limit. It could be anything from reminders for clients about upcoming dates that can be relevant to them. It could be trends or changes in an industry that that your followers are involved in. It could be policy changes or regulatory changes from the government. So, a big one recently is sort of changes to trust and tax rates. So there's almost an unlimited amount of things that you can share. One thing I wouldn't forget to do is to follow your clients. And also, if they've got something exciting happening in their business, or they've got some a win or great news, don't forget to comment on that, to share it. They'll appreciate it. They'll take note. They definitely will notice that you are taking note and sort of lifting them up, and they're more likely to do the same for you. And obviously, then this goes back to your own firm as well. So if you've had some exciting news, you've got a new starter, you won an award, you're going to an event, don't forget to post those. Now, I think the main thing with social is just to be consistent. So you don't want people visiting your profile and seeing the last post was dated November 2017. That's not going to do a lot to enhance their view of you as a modern, active, up-to-date with all the latest news and information type of firm. So be consistent. And I think one thing to think about here is that perfection is sometimes the enemy of consistency. So don't stress about always having the most perfectly witty or funny or insightful post. Social is about being social. That's being present and engaging. It could be directly with people or in groups. Just remember to have fun and be present. And as you build your, I suppose, experience and comfort levels over time, you'll definitely find the whole process of posting easier. Now, also, as we talked about before, with social being ranked, it does help for your Google search rankings. So sometimes if you search for business, actually, their Facebook page will appear or their LinkedIn page might appear. So again, just be consistent. That will all help with you being findable online. And the last tip is, if you are mentioning another person or a firm, use the @ button or hashtag, and you can actually then signal to them that you've talked about them in a post. And if they're maybe an influencer in your industry or a big firm, if they respond to it, that could give a real boost to your post reach and awareness.